Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to the next tapping session. Thank you for joining us today. We are in the spring term, and it's a funny term, spring term. I really like the spring term. The days start getting a bit lighter, but it's quite a short term with lots to fit into it. So today we're going to be thinking about overwhelm and being able to cope with having lots to do when in a short amount of time. And also we're going to be thinking about having tension in our body and tapping on how we can use tapping to help us to release some of that tension and to feel a bit calmer, not just in our minds, but in our bodies as well. So we're going to start today by thinking about overwhelm, and just the words, it's a big word, isn't it? Overwhelm. The word itself is quite a huge one, and it's about how that makes us feel. I've spoken to quite a lot of ECTs and initial teacher trainees recently, and overwhelm is definitely the word at the moment, in the fact of how lots of them are feeling, in the fact that there's so much to do and the pressure feels really real. September was all new and exciting, and now we're into the thick of it, and so people are starting to feel it a bit, as well as there being illness and different things that people are coping with. So we're going to think about overwhelm. We're going to think about what our own level of overwhelm is at the moment. And then we're going to be able to tap on that to hopefully to bring that down and to feel a bit calmer and more in control. So before we start tapping, I'd like you to take a couple of deep breaths in. So breathing in and letting it go. Breathing in again. And letting it go. And I'd like you to think about your level of overwhelm at the moment on a 0 to 10 scale, with 10 being the most overwhelmed that you could possibly be feeling right now, and 0 being that you're completely fine. So in your next deep breath in, I'd like you to really think about how is your level of overwhelm at the moment, and to give yourself a grading on the 0 to 10 scale. Okay, when you've got your grading, I'd like you to make sure that you've got both feet firmly on the floor. Maybe give your shoulders a little roll back. And we're going to start by tapping on the side of the hand, on the karate chop point. So just underneath your little finger, you're going to be tapping on the side of your hand there. And then anything I say, just repeat either in your mind or out loud. So even though I'm feeling quite overwhelmed at the moment, I love and accept myself. Tapping again on the side of the hand. Even though there's so much to do at the moment, and I can feel the overwhelm in my body, I love and accept myself. I'm going to tap one more time on the side of the hand. Even though there's so much to do at the moment, and I can feel the overwhelm in my body, I love and accept myself. I'm going to start tapping the eyebrow points. You can tap on one side, the other side, or both sides together, whichever feels most comfortable for you. I'm just going to be tapping on one side at the moment, just so you can see what we're doing. And just continue to repeat after me, either in your mind or out loud. I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Side of the eye. There's so much that I need to do. Under the eye. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Under the nose. I don't quite know how I'm going to do everything. Chin. I've got so much to do. collarbone, and I don't know when I'm going to get it all done. Under the arm. I can feel this overwhelm in my body. Top of the head. I can feel this overwhelm in my body. Eyebrow. I know I have so much to do. Side of the eye. But maybe I can think about breaking it down. Under the eye. Maybe I don't need to do it all. Under the nose. Even though I have lots to do. Chin point. I don't need to do it all at once. Collarbone. I can focus on doing one thing. Under your arm. I can focus on just doing one thing. Top of your head. Just doing one thing isn't as overwhelming. When we focus on doing just one thing at a time, we're actually 30% more productive. When we try to multitask, although we think that we're being more efficient, we're actually not. Research shows that when we focus on doing just one thing at a time, we're 30% more productive. And therefore we'll feel better about ourselves, and we're also reducing our level of cognitive load as well. Back to your eyebrow point. I'm going to focus on just doing one thing. Side of the eye. I'm going to think about the one thing which will have the most impact. Under the eye. I'm going to think about the thing that has the most impact on my well-being. Under your nose. I'm going to think about the thing that has the most impact on the children I teach. Chin point. For when I focus on what affects my well-being, collarbone. When I focus on what has the most impact for the children I teach, I will have the biggest impact. Under your arm. I choose to prioritise what will have the most impact. Top of your head. I choose to prioritise what's going to support me and my class. Eyebrow point. I'm going to think now about the things I need to do. Side of the eye. I'm going to think now about what will have the most impact for me and my well-being. Under your eye. I'm going to think now what has the most impact for the children I teach. Under your nose. Because when I focus on these things, chin point, I know that I'm looking after myself and prioritising the children's needs. Collarbone. When I focus on this one thing at a time, under your arm, my level of overwhelm decreases. Top of your head. I'm just going to think about one thing at a time. I'd like you to gently stop tapping. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. And I'd like you to think now about what those things are. What things, often on a teacher's to-do list, the list just keeps going on and on. There's never an end to the list, there's always things that get added, but we can't possibly do everything that we are supposed to do. It's not possible to do everything. So you have to prioritize. You have to think about what is going to have the most impact for you and what's going to have the most impact for the children you teach. When I say most impact for you, is what's going to affect your well-being, what's going to support you the most to be able to feel the best about yourself. And it may be that it's an activity that you need to go and speak to somebody else in the school about, and you might need a bit of support with it. It may be something that you've been putting off doing because you thought it was going to be really difficult or challenging or really time consuming, or you're not quite sure how to do it. Whatever that task is that you know, once that's ticked off, you're going to feel much better, that's the one to prioritize. That's the thing to do that will really make a difference to your well-being. When we do this, when we start to break things down and look, especially when we're overwhelmed and we've got so much to do, by just narrowing our focus and focusing on one thing at a time, it can make us feel so much better. And we also start to get rid of things off of our list that we know are making a difference, and we've been able to get those done. And the things which aren't impacting on your well-being and the things that don't make a difference to the children you teach, they keep going to the bottom of your list, and they keep on going to the bottom of the list. And actually then you need to start questioning about why they're even on your list in the first place. If they're not supporting your well-being, if they're not supporting the children you're teaching, then why are we doing them? So that's just something that's worth thinking about and just maybe considering. I'd like you to go back now to your 0 to 10 for how your level of overwhelm is. So we started this tapping of thinking about how overwhelmed we were, with 10 being the most overwhelmed we could be and 0 being the least. And I'd like you to rate now where your level of overwhelm is. Okay, hopefully your number's gone down slightly and you're feeling a bit better about how much you have to do, and that you've got a little bit of a plan in place about how you're going to be able to tackle that. The next thing we're going to be thinking about today is tapping on tension in your body. So often when we are overwhelmed, when we are stressed, we hold tension in our body, and that we can hold tension in lots of different places in our body. And we often have a place which is where we hold tension. So for me, I know that if I'm stressed, if I'm worried, if I'm overwhelmed, I will hold tension in my stomach. Some people will hold it in their shoulders or in their jaw. Some people will hold it in their arms or their back. So we all hold tension in different places, and we all have places which we know actually if we are stressed or overwhelmed, that's where we're going to feel it in our body. To get us started with thinking about recognizing where we hold tension in our body, some of you may already know where that is for you, and other people may not be quite so sure. So we're going to start by doing a short body scan, where we're going to scan through our body and give attention to different places in our body before we do our tap today. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're in a place where you can do so. And I'd like you to take all of your attention now down to your feet. So all your attention to your feet. Noticing your feet on the floor. And just notice if you have any tension at the moment in your toes or your feet. Bring your attention up to your ankles and notice if there's any tension in your ankles. Bring attention now to your calves and lower legs. Move your attention now to your knees, both the front and back of your knees. See if you have any tension here. Moving your awareness up to the top of your legs, your thighs. Move your attention to your hips. See if you have any tension in your hips. Bring awareness to your lower back, the middle of your back, the top of your back. Being aware of the whole of your back, see if there's any tension in any of your back. Bring attention to your shoulders. Are you holding any tension in your shoulders? Being aware of your stomach. If you have any tension here. Bringing awareness to your chest and your ribs. See if you have any tension here. Invite you to bring attention to your arms, including your elbows and your wrists. Awareness to your hands. See if there's any tension in your arms, elbows, wrists or hands. Bring awareness to your neck and your throat, to the back of your head, top of your head, your forehead and your face. Bring awareness to any tension that is anywhere in your body. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and take a deeper breath in. And bringing awareness to where you have tension in your body, and you're likely to have identified somewhere in your body that has some tension. I'd like you to rate that level of tension on a 0 to 10 scale, with 10 being the most amount of tension in that part of your body and 0 being the least. So being aware of where that tension is in your body and giving it a number. And then we're going to start tapping again on the side of the hand, and just repeat after me, either in your mind or out loud. Even though I have this tension in my body, I love and accept myself. Even though I have this tension in my body, I love and accept myself. One last time on the side of the hand. Even though I have this tension in my body, I love and accept myself. Tapping on the eyebrow point. I can feel this tension in my body. Side of the eye. It's my body's way of trying to protect me. Under the eye. I can feel this tension in my body. Under the nose. It's my body's way of trying to protect me. Chin point. I can feel this tension in my body. Collarbone. I know that my body is trying to protect me. Underarm. I can feel this tension in my, and then just state where you can feel the tension. Top of the head. I can feel this tension. To your eyebrow. Even though I can feel this tension. Side of the eye. I choose to relax and breathe into this part of my body. Under the eye. Even though I can feel this tension. Under your nose. I choose to relax and breathe into this part of my body. Chin point. I imagine my breath going to heal this part of my body. Collarbone. I imagine my breath going to heal this part of my body. And your arm. Even though I have this tension in my body, top of the head, I choose to relax now. Eyebrow. I choose to relax and let this tension go. Side of the eye. I choose to relax and let this tension go. Under your eye. It's safe to release this tension. Under the nose. It's safe to release this tension. Chin point. Even though I have this tension. Collarbone. I choose to release it now. Under the arm. I choose to release this tension. Top of the head. It's safe for me to let this tension go. Tapping on the eyebrow point. I'd like you to visualize where you had that tension in your body and just see how it's feeling now. Side of the eye. So visualizing where in your body you had that tension and seeing what it feels like right now. Under the eye. This remaining tension. Under the nose. This remaining tension. Chin. I choose to release this remaining tension. Collarbone. I choose to release this remaining tension. Under the arm. It's safe for me to release this remaining tension. Top of your head. I choose to release this remaining tension. I'd like you to gently stop tapping. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And I'd like you to go back to that 0 to 10 rating. Thinking about that tension in your body, go back to the area of your body where you had the tension and think now, what number would you give that rating for that tension now on the 0 to 10 scale, with 10 being the worst it could be and 0 being the best it could be? Hopefully your number's gone down. It may be that you need to keep tapping on that for a little bit longer, depending on what's causing your tension and how long you've had it. Okay, so we've done two slightly longer taps today, both of them connected to overwhelm and holding stress in our body. I'd just like to remind you that we have tapping club videos which are designed for children. So if you visit my website, michelleauton.com, or you go into YouTube and search up Tapping Club for Children, then the videos will come up. There's 11 or 12 videos on there now. They're all designed, they're all 3 minutes long to be able to support children, whether it's in the classroom or your own children at home. And the next tapping session that we have here together, the next live tapping session, is on Monday the 10th of March at 4:30. I hope to see you then. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care.